What's up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome. Please like and share my video, hit that bell notification, and also go to my online store where you can get some nice, up-to-date type clothes, very stylish. More will be coming on later, but right now, go to this online store. Yo, it'll greatly help my channel, put some dividends in my pocket, and man, this support your brother. I really appreciate it. I will have the links below. Okay, let's talk about ESPN. ESPN is a station that is one of them hypocrite type station. I watch ESPN. Believe me, I watch it. But my thing is, when I did videos say how hypocrite America is, I got to include ESPN in there too, because ESPN is known of using black people as a tool. We know what's her name, Sarah Steele, Malika Andrews. They had a number of people that they use as tools. And Malika Andrews, who, she covered the NBA, she the newest tool there is. And why I'm saying it's a tool is, let's talk about the Boston Celtics ex-coach. I'm not going to get into it. Y'all know what happened. He cheated on his wife. He cheated with another married woman. Okay, let's go on it. Now, Boston bring out the statement of what he done, which I listened to a lot of people like Kendrick Perkins, there was some other guys, Stephen A. Smith, saying what Boston done, they handled it wrong, which I agree. They did handle it wrong because it should have been an in-house thing. But they went out to the media and said what happened. But the thing is, you didn't bring the women or the women who he was having an affair with. Let's get this understandable. You putting his name through the mud. You're putting his name through the mud. Is there a law? Did he broke a law of what he did? He didn't break no law. He was unfaithful to his wife. He was sleeping with a woman or women of a place of business he's work at, the Boston Celtics. But you notice that the women name is not coming out, or the women. They are being very secret about giving out the name. So how can you trash this man, but you not putting the other parties? They say it's against the law to have a relationship with co-workers or somewhere, same place of business. Them ladies work there with him in the organization. Why he getting the jury throw at him? Why them women is not getting their name called out? See, that's what I'm saying is being hypocritical about you putting one side of the story, but you're not doing the other side of the story. So my guess to me, they're white women. They white women. So you're not gonna spare these white women names, but you're gonna spare the black man name. Now, before some of y'all women get upset of me about this, let's look at this right here. He cheated on his wife. He was unfaithful to his wife. Right. I'm not condoning that. That was wrong. When you get married under the eyes of God. You have to answer to God when you go to that gate why you was unfaithful. Okay? Number 2 is this. That woman cheated on her husband. The woman cheat on her husband. Why nobody saying this? It's like this is a one-sided affair. But nobody ain't saying the woman cheat on her husband or the women cheat on her husband. It was consensual sex. Did he rape them? Or did he rape the woman? I'm just going to say the woman. I don't know if there's more than one woman. And some reports I heard it was a couple of women, but let's talk about this one woman. Did he rape her? No. It was consensual. That means that she giving to him. She wanted just as much as he wanted. Why nobody saying that she cheated on her husband? She cheat on her husband as well. So she get a free pass. While this man get his name run through the mud. They talk about ESPN. They talk about it everywhere. You cannot look at no show on ESPN out there talking about it. Come on. Let's look at a lot of the African American or black people who have worked at ESPN and left there. Jamal Hill and all, a lot of them who left here, how they talk about how shady ESPN is, how they want to basically use a black person as a tool. Why I say that? You have the ESPN have a new tool. Said Steele was their tool at the time. She was their tool of let's put this black person out here and get them to say what we want them to say. They have a new tool, and her name is Lika Andrews. She do cover NBA. She cannot do a show out talking about the Boston Celtics coach, and she gets snappy. I don't know y'all saw when First Take, she came on First Take and they was talking about the thing, and she really went off on Stephen A. Smith. Now, I'm not a fan of Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith only said, if you're going to fire him, fire him. If you're not, you're not. But you should have been handling it indoors. That's all Stephen A. Smith had said. And he said, you should have put other parties who was involved accountable. You just can't put Boston coach accountable. You should have put all parties accountable. And she went off on him. You ain't gonna come at Stephen A. Smith. I don't care you're a man or a woman. You're not gonna come at Stephen A. Smith any kind of way. And Stephen A. had to really shut her down. Had to really shut her down how she came at him, which it was wrong. This is so much of a lack of respect that these modern day black women have for black men. And I don't want to hear nothing about it go both ways. Because I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how a lot of these modern day women goes off on men. And like, we put to sit there and take their mouth and take their shit. A lack of respect. And Stephen A. basically had to shut her down.
For having me.
Yeah, thank you for being with us. And obviously you had the statement from Udoka that was given to you. What's your reaction now after hearing the press conference?
Well, Molly, thank you. If I could first start with this. Stephen A., with all due respect, this is not about pointing the finger. Stop. What became apparent to me in this press conference is that we do not have all of the information here. And it was frustrating to me that the Celtics declined to elaborate or to give more specifics about what exactly the rule breaking was that left that we are sitting here debating whether somebody else should have been suspended or not. We are not here, Stephen A., to further blame women. That is not why we are here.
First of all, let me be very clear. I don't appreciate where you're going with that. I'm not blaming anybody but Ime Udika. He deserves, the fact of the matter is, I've said he deserved to be fired if they were going to fire him. If you're not going to fire him, then don't fire him. My issue is all of this being publicized. The point that I'm trying to make is just like you're not mentioning. Excuse me. I listened to you. You're the one telling me to stop on my show. It ain't happening. Okay, that's number one. I've already said he deserves to be fired, or he deserves to be there and handle it internally and privately. If you're not going to handle it privately, if you're going to publicize it in that fashion, then obviously it provokes everybody wanting to know, okay, well, who are the parties involved? When you have Amina Smith in Boston and other women pointing out the fact that there were women who were wrongly implicated in all of this, it's a disservice to them. I didn't come out with the report about a consensual relationship. I didn't come out with the report ahead of time leaking that they were going to suspend him for the year. They did that. And my point is, considering how pervasive this kind of stuff has existed in professional sports for many years, my whole point is that, make sure that you handle it in the same fashion it has always been handled. You could have fired him, and then we could have speculated till the cows come home, but he's gone. But to keep him there, keep him employed, but in the same breath, suspend him for a year, then also that year is indefinite. That is the issue that I have. Nobody's trying to protect Ime Udika, and certainly nobody is trying to protect, is to excoriate the women involved or anything like that. I'm talking about how things of this matter are usually handled from an HR perspective, from an organizational perspective. That is not consistent with what we have seen throughout the years. That is the only point that I was trying to make. I'm not trying to attack anybody. And if anybody deserves to be attacked, it's Ime Udika for putting himself in this position. I've made that very clear. I'm just talking about you got owners and everybody else. They know the kind of stuff that's going on. You didn't say anything about anybody else. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about them. They didn't say anything about everybody else all the other times.
And see, that's what Stevie Day's saying. They didn't say anything else. They didn't call the other women name. But you smear this man's name. And Malik Andrews made it about women. They're feminists, they're feminists, whatever they call it, not a feminine. That's what these modern day women do. And then she didn't only stop there. She went after Kendra Perkins.
Right, and listen, I agree to that aspect, but here's the thing too. The word accountability, okay? Accountability doesn't just go to Ime Udika, okay? Accountability goes to the other people that played a part in that as well. Let me tell you another thing I didn't like about my good friend Wick Grossbeck and Brad Stevens in this press conference when they asked, is anybody else going to be punished? And they said no. And my whole thing is this, right? These are some of the facts that have been out. These are some facts.
And you see, that's the thing. When they ask for anyone else going to be accountable about it, they say no. So the black guy got to be accountable for his action, but these women not. These white women. They're going to protect the identity of these white women who cheat on their husband. Nobody not saying these women cheat on their husband. How are we getting one side of the thing? How are we going to punish? How are we going to convict? We're going to throw the keys out on one side of the story, not the other side. Why are these women not being accountable about it? Why are these women still have their job? They agree to have sex with a man other than their husband. Why are everybody overlooking that?
Facts that I know that, you know, this relationship, one of these relationships that was had with Ime Udoka and one of these women, it was consensual, meaning that this woman actually played a part in it too. So my thing is, yes, Ime Udoka was wrong. We get that. His punishment, he deserved that, and whatever else follows, I hate it for him, but he put himself in this position. But why are the other people getting left off the hook?
Well,
that's the problem that I have right now. Everybody got to be held accountable.
I think that we need to circle back to what Shanae said, is that there was a investigation that was conducted by an independent law firm here, and I think that transparency is what will rule the day here. And so without having all of the information, it is unfair and irresponsible of us to go and to speculate on that, because what we have to...
Well, I'm not speculating. Sure. I have the information. I'm not speculating.
But what we have to go with here is the fact that an independent law firm came in, did this investigation, and the facts that they were presented, they came to the conclusion that Ime Udoka violated a policy that warranted a 1-year suspension. And I share your frustration with the lack of transparency, while understanding that there is some things that they need to, from a legal perspective, keep private. But knowing all of that, understanding all of that, we have to come to a conclusion that whatever rule, the conduct that was broken on one side, it is not the same on the other side. I thank you for your perspective. We will revisit this story later in our show. We also have a little bit of basketball to get to.
Why did he?
You see how fast, you see how fast she got him off the show. She did not like what he said. She jumped over him and they got him off the show. Boom, just like that. Basically kick him off the show. It's like Perkins said, if you can hell, if it was agreed, it's essential to have sex. If anybody know about that organization, it's Kendra Perkins, because they drafted him and he played with them for years. He got friends in that organization. He got connection in that organization. So, like he said, if it was essential sex with these women, why only one side is getting held accountable for their action and not the women? Because they agreed to have sex with this man, but they is not held accountable for it. They is being very hush-hush of not giving these women identities. If they didn't want to bash no one or do something to make someone in harm's way, they should have held it in-house. But they choose not to. They choose to have a press conference, tell the world, but say, this black man done it. So my question is, if there was a white guy, a white coach, would they would have said what happened? Hell no, they wouldn't have done it. They wouldn't have done it. You would have never know what happened, why they are spending him, why they firing him. You would have never know unless it leaked out. So I'm very anxious what y'all think about this situation. This is the hypocritical thing about America. And then you have Malika Andrews, the new tool for ESPN, the modern day black woman who loved to down a black man. See, that's a shame when our very own black women try to bury us when we have a lot of white America, and let me say this right, because I separate racist white America who try to bury the black man. And it's a shame that our very own sisters, our very own black women in our community, you got them also try to bury us. That's my thing that I don't like about this. That's why I had to do the video about this right here. You know, you didn't like what Jalen Rose had to say, so what you did, ESPN made him apologize. You know, it is known for ESPN when you step over that line, then there's a problem with them. Every black person who work at ESPN said how ESPN is. When you step over that line, see, they put us black people in a line, and they want us to stay in that line. But soon as you get out of that line, there's a problem. But my thing is, why we not talking about these women cheat on their husband like this man cheat on his wife? Nobody not saying it. So if you want to help and feminize and put their name through the mud, then you need to put the women name too, because you know what? They had to agree to have sex with him. And they did agree to have sex with this man. You can't victimize one and you ain't gonna victimize the other one. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Like and share my video and go to my online store, y'all. Peace.